Yeah. Hi, namaste, masters, my dear friends. My name is Nanda Maharshi. Today, this is week 3 of Spiritual Tuesdays, and today we are going to talk about a topic called as harmonize the heart as well as the brain. So we are going to discuss this topic. So before we start discussing this topic, let us sit for meditation for about 10 minutes, and then we can start the topic. Thank you. Okay. So please sit comfortable. Sit comfortably. Cross your legs. Clasp your hands. Close your eyes. Observe your normal and natural breath, my dear friends. Observe your in breath and out breath. Be in the present moment. Observe your normal and natural breath, my dear friends. Observe your in breath and out breath. Observe your normal and natural breath. Last 3 minutes. My dear friends. Last 30 seconds. Make count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Come back to your body consciousness. Please place your hands on your eyes. Open your eyes with a good smile on your face. Yes. Yes, my dear friends. It was a nice, wonderful meditation. And today we are going to talk about this topic called as harmonizing the heart and the brain. So this is one of the most important topics, my dear friends, because it is those two parts in the human body, in the physical human body, right? They are very much useful, right? So, and these two important parts of our body are all interlinked, and we need to know more about this type of knowledge. We need to get complete information, and there are new researches that are going on these two organs, and then there have been continuous researches, and we will be astonished to know the results of these researches. And we wanted to unlock the true potential that a true human being that a human being has, right? So, in order to have the true potential of the human being, right? So, we wanted to we need to know the true power of our heart. So, this is where this topic comes. This is where we are going to learn more about this harmonizing the heart as well as the mind. So before we start going towards this topic, right? So I would like to give a quick intro about like uh, what happens when we try to harmonize this, and then I would like to give you a quick background of our physical body, and then from there we can start about this topic. So humans, right? So human beings are the most evolved beings on this planet Earth, and humans have been there from long ago when the Earth was created, and then there were human beings around 200 million years ago, and um, we were more advanced, evolved beings then, and we had a 12-stranded DNA during those times. And later on, what happened due to some other reasons, our DNA got manipulated, and we currently have two strands of DNA in our physical body. And then this, the scientists and the doctors, right? So they only know the 20% of the DNA information, and they can attribute the 20% DNA information to certain qualities of our physical body or of ourselves. they can only attribute to certain things. They were able to only discover the 20% of our DNA material. And the rest 80% of the DNA material is unknown. So they named it as a junk DNA because they don't have any information regarding this junk DNA. So this is all in researches, my dear friends. So it can be found anywhere on the internet, and most of the doctors are still aware of this fact, and it's still being researched on to know the other 80% of the DNA material, like what it is and what is the true purpose of that material. And apart from that, there are other organs within our body that we are not aware of. For example, pineal gland. So there are rods and cones in pineal gland. So there are a lot of researches that are still going on to know the true human potential of a human being. And we are endowed with all supernatural gifts that anyone can think of. So all the supernatural abilities are present in our human brain, human body. We just need to unlock those supernatural abilities within ourselves. So this is how we will come across this topic. This is very interesting topic, my dear friends. And thanks to all the researchers who have been doing a continuous research on this topic, and they have come up with all the different types of results where we can utilize those results, and then we can try to unlock the true potential of our heart as well as brain. So we all know that we have a lot of information within our DNA, right? Similar to that, in early 2000s, right? So there were researchers, there were doctors, there were researchers. They have been doing some research on the heart functioning, and they were able to know that there were about 20,000 sensory neurons or 40,000 sensory neurons inside the heart. So the brain, basically, we know that the brain has a neurons, right? So they all are connected with electromagnetic field, right? So and all the information is processed with this electromagnetic field, and it has been all the neurons are connected together, right? So it's not only the brain has these neurons. We also have a heart which has about 40,000 sensory neurons. And whenever a baby is born, right? So before the baby comes to the womb, or when it comes to the womb, right? We first check the heartbeat of the baby, or we check the heartbeat of the baby, because that's the first primary organ that is going to get developed when inside the stomach, inside the womb. That's the main first organ. And because everything has a reason, and why the first organ is like heart, so we need to know that. Why not the brain? Because brain controls all the human body, right? So we believe that brain controls the total human body, right? When we believe that brain controls the total human body, right? So then when we believe that the brain controls the whole human body, right? In that case, we need to be aware of. We need to know how the brain functions, right? So there was a research done on both the brain as well as on the body, where we were able to know more information about how the brain functions, how the heart is related to the brain, and all of this information. So we in those researchers, right? So they were able to find there were about 40,000 neurons that were created when the human body was forming. And these 40,000 neurons are already there in the heart, and they also have their own electromagnetic field. With that, they used to communicate, and then they used to send signals to the brain later on during the development of the body, right? So the heart used to provide all the necessary information, and then it used to provide necessary information to the brain so that it can start uh, the brain can start controlling the whole body, like the hands and everything. And initially during the infant stage of a child, right? So there is no hand body and mind coordination, right? So they're still trying to learn, but they already but even before they have this hand body mind coordination, right? So they have their heart which is already open, right? So they can feel those the feelings of the parents, they can sense those feelings of the parents, right? So first thing is, like, we need to tune ourselves, and then we need to start thinking in terms of heart. So that's the reason heart is the most important part of the body, because it can have the feelings where all the life starts, right? It starts from the heart, right? So it has all the sensory neurons, and from the latest new researches, we know that it has a lot of other capabilities. And it is also called as little brain of there is a little brain inside the heart, which can actually create lot of difference. And we need to harmonize our brain as well as our heart. We all know that they both of this heart and brain are interlinked, right? But we don't know that we need to harmonize both of them and tune both of them, because by tuning both of them we can actually try to get the true potential of the human being. So we need to harmonize it. So we know the true potentials of both the heart and the brain, but we need to also start harmonizing it. And there are a lot of other reasons that we need to do it, because uh, there is when you take the chakra system, right? So there is a heart chakra, and there is no brain chakra, right? So we need to know more about the heart. And there are different types of meditations also, right? So like heartful meditation. So we need to start thinking from the perspective of heart, and try to unlock the true potential of the heart. So there are some civilizations on this planet who are totally they teach their kids to think with the heart. So in the first 5 years of the kids' journey, right? So they wanted to completely utilize the kids' growth by concentrating on the heartful communication, or else they ask the kids to do things that can be done by the heart. So they try to give more importance to the heart, and then they try to acquire the true potential of that heart. And later on, after 5 years of the child's after 5 years of after 5 years, what they do is they try to program the kids by giving the physical task so that they can evolve with respect to the brain. So first 5 years of our human life should be always devoted towards the development of the heart and how to start communicating with the heart. From there, after 5 years, because we come to realization of the true world, right? So when we come to the realization of the true world, we can try to train our brain, because that's the time when the human brain starts to grow, and then try to experience this outer reality. So during that point of time, we can try to guide kids, and then make them aware of the physical activities by giving them physical activities, and then start their brain development, where we can start our brain development. So first few years of the infancy, we need to make sure that we should communicate with kids with heart. Because the heart is more powerful, and the kids have been using it from their um, when they were in the womb, right? So all the communications that go inside the mother and the child, right? So it always goes through the heart. So we need to start doing that, and with the help of that, we can cure a lot of physical problems that we are having. And we also wanted to know the true potentiality, right? So um, while while there have been a lot of researches on this, they were able to know that when you start communicating with your heart, right? So you're going to directly connect to your subconscious brain. So when you start doing that, your subconscious brain gets activated. And subconscious brain is one of the most important and more powerful thing that the human has, because 90% of the subconscious brain, like most of the activities that we do, right, they're all come from the subconscious brain. 90% of our activities, they all come from the subconscious brain. Only the 10% of the activities that are repetitive, um, so those kind of activities, they only come from our physical brain or physical mind, not from the subconscious brain. So in order to truly unlock the potential, right? So we need to start using our subconscious brain. So subconscious brain, how can we activate the subconscious brain? Subconscious brain can be activated by doing meditation, or else by doing some past life regressions or any other meditative techniques, right? So one of the ways, like also aligning our heart and start opening our heart chakra. When you try to open your heart chakra, right? So you're directly going to connect to your subconscious brain, and this subconscious brain is like an iceberg. So the complete uh, uh, the ice that is inside the ocean, it's like too big, right? So that particular symbolizes the subconscious brain, and the tip of the iceberg, right? So it's only the physical brain that we are having. So we need to truly unlock the true potential of the subconscious brain, and it can be done by using this heartful communication, or else activate the heart chakra. And since there have been a lot of researches on this topic, right? So I would like to give a couple of examples. So nowadays, heart transplantation is very easy, right? Very easy and very accessible to people. And there have been a lot of transplantations that are going on every day and every year, right? So they have done a couple of researches. They have done researches on this, and they found some astonishing facts. And one of those examples, right? So I would like to provide you a couple of examples. And one of the example was, uh, so basically the heart transplantation takes place between certain age limit. Like if a patient is around 50 years, right? So they try to tend to take a donor who has around 40 years. Like they go with a smaller age gap, so that they can fit the heart, right? So they basically do a research regarding the donor, and then based upon that they can get that information, and all this information is not disclosed to the recipient. So what happened in one of the story was, there was a accident of one of the donor, and he died on spot, and then there was one more recipient who needs this heart transplantation. So they somehow got the heart from the donor because he had an accident. So he was able to donate that heart, and then they transplanted. So they transplanted it to this particular recipient. So this recipient was a female person, and she was around 50 years of age. And the donor who got accident, right? So that particular donor was around 40 years, and so they successfully transplanted the heart, and they were able to after heart plants transplantation, they were able to do some research on this particular patient. And first thing when she woke up from this operation, right? So when she felt good, right? So she started asking a few things like some favorite food, right? So she started asking, I need certain favorite food. Like she started asking that, and her family members were shocked because she never ate that food in the whole lifetime. But after the heart transplantation has done, she started asking a typical food which is not present locally. So she started asking that, and then all their family members were shocked. Then the doctor started doing some more research, like why is she asking this particular things. Then later on, what happened was uh, the recipient was able to know about this information, and then even the doctors they did some research, and they found that the donor who met with the accident, right? So that donor had this item as a favorite meal. So he had this favorite item as a favorite meal. So they were able to see that okay, the research was going on, and they were able to find that okay, the heart can store the memories. So our heart can store the memories. So all the subconscious memories, right? So they all get stored in our heart and sometimes in brain, right? So when the heart transplantation was done, so all the memories of the donor, some of those memories of the donor got deposited into the heart. It's already there in the heart, right? So when the heart transplantation is done, that memories were stored in this heart, and then using those memories, she was able to ask that particular menu. So they were shocked because for the first time they started doing research on the heart, and then they felt when they have done this research, they were able to find that there were about 40,000 neurons and 40,000 memory neurons. So that was the turning point of the whole heart communication. Similarly, there was one more example when where there was a small little girl who was having who was having an accident, and she was killed for some reason. And there was one more little girl where they were able to they were able to um, transfer her heart because that little girl was died, and they transplanted her heart to another baby, which was like both of them had very small age gap, and then they used that, and then they started transplanting the heart. So when they transplanted the heart, right? So the recipient started getting all the wild dreams, all the horror dreams. So she was able to get those horror dreams for about at least thrice in a week, and she had a lot of trouble with those dreams because earlier, before the surgery happened, she was not even getting those dreams. She was very fine, but once the heart transplantation is done, she started getting all these horror dreams. And in those horror dreams, she was able to go very specific into those dreams. She was able to know that that in that horror dream, right? So she was going into this woods, running in the woods, and then someone was chasing around her, and then um, so she was killed somehow. by that chase, and then the one who killed her, right? So she was able to describe that person, and she was able to also recognize what the killer was trying to tell her. So she was able to recollect all, even minute details of all the things that happened in the dream. And she was having this issue, and that was a repetitive dream that she used to get at least thrice in a week. And she complained the same to the doctors, and doctors said that I have done my job, and then I am not sure about what's going on with your dreams. So I need to consult a psychiatrist. So they consulted the psychiatrist, and when they consulted the psychiatrist, right? So they were able to. The psychiatrist was able to recognize this, and then he was able to know that okay, these are not the normal dreams that anyone can get. These are very specific, and then they started trying to take notes of all the descriptions that she mentioned, and after getting all the details, right? So they provided to the nearby police, and then the police started doing some inquiry, and then they were able to find the killer within few days with those descriptions. And during the interrogation of the killer, so he was able to mention all the details that this particular girl has mentioned. So we know that this basically we know that this with these two examples, right? So we will be able to clearly know that the heart has a memory. So we need to realize that okay, heart is very important, and all the memories should be good memories, and we need to try to train ourselves. And when you try to feel with your heart, you will definitely get a good memories. And try to practice. We need to truly know the importance of the heart. If we don't know the importance of the heart, then we all try to tend to imprint all the bad memories into our heart. So try to have all the good memories inside your heart, and then use it for the higher purpose for yourself. Because heart is one of the main organ where you can train your heart to learn new things, new skills when you have interest, right? So that's where your heart comes. When you wanted to learn music, right? So you should feel with your heart, and then you should think with the help of your heart, and think and start learning that music. It's not the brain that okay, I need to. It's not the brain that is going to decide how you start learning the music. First you need to tune your heart, and then with whenever you try to tune your heart, and then do new tasks or new activities that you are interested, right? That one, it becomes like a habit, and then it makes those tasks or those learning abilities very easy. But when you think with the brain, right, we try to tend that okay, this is a duty, and we try to get bored, and then we quit that learning. So always try to use your heart and then start learning. That's where it can help us to progress in our daily lives. And since from the two examples, right, so we were able to know that the heart can remember things, right? So heart can learn new things. Heart will help us to learn new things, and it can also remember the things that are already happened. So while we have these things, so we need to harmonize ourselves with the brain. We need to connect both of this. They are always connected, but we need to try to harmonize. So they are electromagnetically connected because our energy field is always in that electromagnetic field. But apart from this, we need we need to start a process. We need to start doing thinking with our heart, and then trying to communicate or trying to harmonize both the mind and body. And one of the greatest aspect of this is mind-body coordination and heart-mind coordination. It only happens when you sit inside the pyramid. So this is one of the use of the pyramids. And these are all part of complex neural networks that we are talking right now. This has been there since from ages, and we are discovering it lately. And then we all tend to know that okay, this is all new discovery, but this has been there for a long time. And heart-brain coherence basically it provides complete access to your subconscious brain. Right? Subconscious brain is very much powerful, and then we can use that. And one of the main thing, right, for initial meditators, right, we need to attend to the sessions that are centric towards this heart and brain coherence, where they teach about heart brain coherence and then how to use your heart properly and all of this, right? So right now there is a program that is going on from Buddha CEO regarding this coherence. So it is for all the new meditators, and all these new meditators can join either in Zoom, either in YouTube, and then start listening to that. Because Chandra Purnamurthy sir, he provides great information, great insights about how the heart and as well as the brain coherence will be. And then he guides in those meditations beautifully that we can go in depth into our hearts, and then we can open up our hearts during those meditations. So I recommend everyone who are initial meditators to attend those meditation sessions, because those coherence is very much important. And all the healthy habits and non-healthy habits, these are all gets imprinted into our heart. So as I said, right, so we always wanted to give the healthy habits to our heart so that it can remember and that it can help us to progress ourselves. So you can find the patterns, right? So when you go to you can see examples, right, in our daily life. So when you go to some houses, the kids are always like they start complaining and they start doing it, right? So they all get all of this information from their parents. When the parents are having this non-healthy habits, right, like arguing um, during in the presence of kids and all of this, right? So all this gets imprinted into our kids. So these are all are going to create issues within the family, and then it can it can completely divert the kids from their growth patterns. So it's always useful that we need to have these healthy habits. Like we need to think with the heart, and then we need to help ourselves with this, so that all the family and relationship issues can be easily resolved. And when you start thinking with the heart, right, you can get the deep intuitions. You can you can instantaneously get those intuitions. And in order to get those, if we already have those intuitions, but due to the physical reality, due to the brain patterns, right, the brain thinking mechanism, we forget about our intuitions. And all these intuitions have come from your heart, not from the brain. The brain gets information from the society, but the heart, it is, since it is connected to the subconscious brain, and it provides you the greatest intuition. And we often listen that we always need to follow our intuition, right? So it's always good to connect to your heart. That's where this heart and brain coherence is very important, my dear friends. And when we come to know about our heart chakra, right? So heart chakra is one of the most important chakra, my dear friends. It basically helps you to have this love, compassion, and generosity and forgiveness. These are the most important qualities of our heart chakra. And apart from that, giving and receiving and unconditional love, all these are from heart chakra. And most of the illnesses that we get, right, are all because of lack of this, lack of unconditional love, lack of forgiveness, or lack of compassion, lack of love. All this information is very important. That's the reason we always need to connect ourselves with the heart. And from there, we can remove all the physical problems, like the diseases that we are facing. Whenever you attend to the spiritual tablets by GK sir, right? So he always provides insights of all the diseases all the physical illnesses that we are having. All of these physical illnesses are all connected to our subconscious brain. So these are all these are all related, my dear friends. It's not that the medical science is not worthy. Medical science is worthy, but it is very for a short term. But in order to permanently remove all those illnesses from your physical body, right, you need to know more about your subconscious brain as well as other aspects of your body, like the heart, because the heart has all this information like compassion, forgiveness, and everything. And most of the illnesses are part of this. So I would recommend each and everyone to start thinking with the heart, because heart has a little brain. And when you follow this particular pattern of thinking with your heart, everything is going to change. And you can see endless opportunities in front of you. And you can mingle with everyone in the world. So that is one of the most important things. And this is the true power of our heart, my dear friends. So we have, till now, we have learned about the power of silence and now power of heart. So these are also very important, my dear friends. So I would like everyone, for even the new meditators, to go and look for the sessions regarding the coherence. And if you have any physical illnesses, contact spiritual tablets group who can guide you to go and heal those physical problems, and then with respect to like get the permanent solutions, not depending upon the medicines and make your life more miserable. So we need to know the true root cause of all those things, right? So that's the reason we need to start thinking with the heart. And after that, we can start working on the coherence between the heart and brain. Since we have been doing this meditations, right? So using pyramids, right? So it can easily align, and the coherence can easily be created. But you need to start practicing by thinking with your heart first. That's a main first step. And later on, since our meditation takes you to that coherence part, it can be easily taken care. And this will have a greater impact in your life, and you can have a wonderful life from there once you start practicing this. Thank you, friends. This was a good topic, and I really learned a lot of things from this particular topic, my dear friends. If you guys have any questions, please let me know. Anuradha Garu, any questions, please? Any doubts?
Nice, only nice session. Sorry, I mean, I joined just, bit late, actually, but it was nice. I joined at the time, the heart story, second story, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
It was really great, and it is something new. So it's really great. Thank you.
Sure, definitely. Thank you. Thanks a lot. And this is very important, my dear friends, because we never realize the importance of the heart, right? So even I'm learning. So when I first took this topic, right, so I started doing some research and I found that there are a lot of amazing facts. And everyone says the same things, same important information we gather from all different sources. But we should start implementing that. So thank you for listening, ma'am. And if you don't have any questions, we can end up the session with some meditation. We'll sit for meditation for about the next 7 minutes, 5 minutes, and then we can end up the session. Thank you. So we'll open our heart in this particular meditation. Let's comfortably sit. Clasp your hands, cross your legs. Observe your normal and natural breath, my dear friends. Let us tune ourselves to start communicating with our heart. Let us open our heart. Let us activate all the energies flowing from your heart to your brain. Let those electromagnetic waves from your heart reach your brain and harmonize. Let us send this energy within our family, within our room, within our house. Let us spread these heartful energies so that we can evolve Send those heartful energies in your area, spread across your community. Start spreading it towards the whole city. The whole state. Expand your heartfelt communication to the whole state and to the whole country. And also towards the whole planet. So the heart energies are flowing all across this planet. And we started feeling this oneness with all the creatures. Let us start harmonizing our brain with the energies of our heart. So that we can feel oneness even in our physical reality. We are activating both our subconscious as well as conscious brains. To tune to the oneness We have choices, we have free will. Let those choices be full of heartfelt communication. Let us all empower ourselves with strong intuition. Let us activate our intuition powers. Let us give our best memories to our heart. Just 1 minute, dear friends. Last 30 seconds, my dear friends. Please place your hands on your eyes on a count of 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Open your eyes with a good smile on your face. Thank you, Andy. Thank you, everyone. And let us all meet next Tuesday with a new topic. Thank you, friends. And I would like to provide all my gratitude to all the researchers and all the people who has provided this wonderful information for all of us. Thank you.